obvious.
So if they go alpha here, Indonesia answer with a Nolan last pick red side.
Yeah.
Last pick R3.
Oh, red 3, yeah.
Yeah, they don't
red
rely.
yeah, for sure.
No rush.
I like that strategy.
If they go Phobius, Indo pick up Alpha.
Yeah. So it's one or the other.
Either or.
Or
Whoa.
neither.
That's swerve.
It's been a while since we've seen first pick Edith.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think this is like their long. This might be a long to take away Fumi Echo's picks. Because remember the last one we felt like they were just stuck with that Harlot? Now with the Edith, if ever like a Valentina doesn't get pick up here, no EXP laner yet, you get what's left between like a Kali, the high loss, just pick your poison, and then you just play around the possibility that Fumi Echo might just actually be outpicks again. Although you still will have the CC, Gato, Kali, there's a lot more options, but I think they're going to try to manipulate it so that the matchup's a bit better than the EXP.
Which is also key to their victory in game 1. They
Yeah.
made sure Fumiago had to play a high volatile hero like Arlon. As a Valentina,
And good thing they did that. They needed to respond to that Edith right away, but I think they might actually swerve and pick up a Fumi Echo pick already in the R3. I feel like they need to.
yeah. This is still, I think, to... Oh, wow. Yeah, no. I think the fact that Indonesia changed their draft strat in game 1 opened up that difficulty for them. Because look, they've always given XP and jungle in the first phase. Game 1, they changed that.
I think they were trying to play with that flexibility, but it didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
So is this the new
Overshot.
strat against Indo? Shut
Overshot.
that down? Right? But we do see the classic trade-in for Egypt. They are going to be picking up a Nolan for Sunlight. It is a hero that she has picked up in the past, and that power pick Sicilian does come through once again.
Ooh, yeah, I think just get that Fumi Echo pick now.
Gatot.
See either Gatot or the Kal. Oh no.
Kali works.
I'm just worried that there might be something else that we don't see that because Kali might suffer into.
Kali does well to bother the Sicilian and the Nolan.
A little bit, yeah.
I think, yeah, Egypt gonna ban it. If it's left open, they're gonna ban it.
Yeah. If Indonesia go into this between their gold later now, it might come. Okay, power pick. Very different tempo that we're going to be seeing. But I like how it was actually Fumi Echo who picked that in for her. So
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know exactly. So in the drafting point of view from Egypt, it's like, wait, Fumi Echo picked it. They have XP lane too? And now it's a little bit of a layer of overthink. Like, we know it's a Vivian pick, but XP Cho is an idea you can turn off in this meta.
I'm wondering if Fumi Echo actually has that in her arsenal.
Right. And I think that's the same thing Egypt's thinking
Because
about.
from the qualifiers, nothing.
Well, to be fair, pre-game I did vocalize how I want to see Fumiago be more creative.
Yeah.
The Arlet did hit the mark. Maybe if this is indeed a show, she can rotate out faster than the Edith, bother Sunlight.
I mean, technically she could still pick up Phobius, right?
It's left open.
Yeah, you should be able to. Thinking, I think you will pick the Kali. Because at the same time, Cho Valentina turns off the Kali broke for Egypt. Because if ever they decided to park the Edith in the EXP lane. And the question is, will Egypt be willing to put that Edith into the role? Because then you're giving an even better early game, since the Valentina can just take the primal run. And we've seen that so many times. Where Valentina Edith cosplay, paired up with an Alpha, almost always wins the first 5 minutes of the game.
So good.
Yeah.
Out of this world damage output.
So if ever, I think Egypt might actually put that in the EXP lane. We don't see the roamer yet. But the Cho Valentina has turned off the Kali because those two outpoke the hell out of the Kali. It will be tough to roam Kali into that. That can still open, high loss still open.
Look at this choke on the gold lane. Both teams making sure that neither Shell nor Names have a good go. No one, no Harris, no name. What is this? No Beatrix, no Moskov?
They're running out of names.
Still here.
Yeah, but I mean, that is true.
Touche.
What's the option here? Do they default back to the Clints, the Brunos? Beatrix, man.
That's a Shell special.
Yeah, you mentioned Clint. If ever this is a slow type of EXP laner, yeah, you can go Clint there. But if Indonesia end up picking something like Kali, then oof, it is not safe for a gold laner.
Shell
Egypt have,
could pick up Clint first, right?
Oh, just take it away? Straight up?
yeah, because Egypt have played Sicilian, Clint, and Phobius got on Slash. So we can do that.
Oh, they go slow. So
It
yeah,
should be Hylos Roam. I mean, Hylos XP.
XP, yeah.
Miles XP, Rome Cho,
Yeah.
and then whichever Shell ends up with. This has always been a Shell pick right here, this slot.
I can go Lunox again. Definitely don't go Kali. I think the Clint will be okay. The Clint should be okay. For Egypt.
Clint Moskov to the
Yeah.
pickups left. Claude has dropped off.
If they want to win lane, they go Clint, right?
Because if ever they pick something that doesn't win lane, Shell can just go Bruno. And it makes them a lot of single target. But ooh. Okay, yeah, it is an XP Edith.
Ah.
And it's a Belleric and Melissa.
Egypt going deep here.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this is reminiscent of how I would draft things in my argument, so I'm a little bit more biased towards Egypt's picks right now.
I love Team Egypt. The right tool for the right job.
And now again, the answer of the question of what do you give Shell is even more pressuring.
Because she's whatever she picks is going to be hard to win the lane.
Yeah.
Nothing is safe right now for her. So then you go for the mobile option. I think it's a little bit harder to catch.
Hyper farm on the Claude.
That's true.
Is this going to be a flicker, Beleric?
It's vengeance.
It's vengeance.
She's out for a vengeance.
Okay. Interesting stuff, but I do want to talk a little bit about the matchup, right? The Claude versus Melissa. Yeah, Melissa shuts down a whole lot from Indonesia. Everybody except the Claude. In the laning phase, Claude is the only marksman. Together with Moskov, maybe, the two heroes with blinks, they can actually deal a lot of damage to Melissa and can escape from the muddle. So there are ways for Chell to win out in this lane.
Maybe part of the, because of the whole revitalized Beleric that we saw before, maybe part of this, again, vengeance is just because, yeah, you have a Claude across from you and, kind of posting up with the ultimate and then popping the vengeance obviously is going to help you deal with the blazing duet later on. And if Nucci can have another game like she did previously on this facility and she scales way sooner than, you expect, then I feel like Indonesia might have to deal with that again, and maybe this is also why Vivian went with a more proactive roam option, the Cho pick, to be able to do that, to be able to set things up for the team here. And also interesting is the fact that you have a Valentina now in play for Indonesia and deciding on what ultimate to most likely take. I mean, there can even be an instance where you take that Beleric ultimate and you make it work for your team.
Yeah. It'll be, in a way, actually, Zinni went for Lethal Ignition too. We've seen a lot of different iterations of, the emblems, or sorry, the emblems that a lot of pro players go for. I think Super Friends went for the Brave Smite, right? Impure Rage is usually the safest choice.
It's like the default, right? Like Impure Rage.
Lethal Ignition definitely means that she wants to be taking these aggressive abilities away. Probably Velvet for the most part, right? The Primal Wrath, so that she can deal even more damage. And then combo it together with a Starlium Scythe. That's a Primal Wrath with Lethal Ignition and Starlium. So definitely going to be a lot of ways for them to deal out damage. Sunlight, whoa. Committing down the Fracture up top, though. You can see they are putting a lot of pressure on Velvet, too, who's already forced to use Flicker.
So they know that she doesn't have a Retribution. So because of that, since Sunlight burned it, Indonesia just gets the green light to go ahead and get this turtle. They might get a kill here, too.
Yeah, Vengeance already faded out there. Fevin goes in for the taunt. Foamy Echo will be rotating as well. City goes in too, and that's going to be Sunlight losing out on the purple buff. The Spear of Alpha catches Fevin. Sunlight running away. Velvet now trying to peel for the team. Nucci is going to be melted down by Fivel's Blades. Velvet with the Flicker and the Onward finding one, but it's not going to be enough to take anyone down. Velvet low, very low. Indonesia unable to get the last shot down onto Velvet, but it's a turtle and a kill. Vivian with the Jikundo Flicker, way the dragon into Fivel's Spear.
I was going to say, they get away surprisingly with, 2 very low health bars, but then Indonesia goes and caps out one more. So Nucci won't have the start she did in game 1, having an early death, even burning the Flicker in that. But ultimately, Indonesia, they pull ahead a little bit. And with all of that just happened, plus the turtle going in their favor, they've got themselves a comfortable lead here. So now Egypt will have to go ahead and, maybe slow things down a little bit unless Sunlight can get that job done that she was after earlier. She wanted to get a kill. Oh, there's a kick again.
Okay. Bit off angle, though. Bit of Vivian. Trying to run away now. Phantom back comes in. Sunlight will be able to pick up the kill. Velvet looking for the Earth Shatter, unable to catch on the City. 2-man Spear of Alpha. Now caught in the Wrath of the Dryad, but it's going to be the Primal Rat ready for City. Dealing damage to Velvet, winning it out of the 1v1 Primal Rat duel as Vivian the tree gets cut down by the Spear of Vival.
It almost feels like who can tap faster.
Yeah.
2 Primal
attack,
Wraths.
baby.
2 Primal Wraths there, and that time, like I said, City wins that one. So now the fight for the resources to take here. Sunlight's gonna make her way. Might just try to take this.
Okay, she's trying to get her hands on it. Stunned up earlier from Vivo. There's no retribution there. Sunlight will be the one to take it away. The Fracture down is asking the Onward, connecting on the City. Who's still able to escape for a bit. Foamy Echo, though, won't be as fortunate. Will have to fall in this failed invade from Indonesia.
Good pickups once again. Egypt trying to find where they can and definitely keeping things from getting too out of hand. This next turtle's up there. Sunlight doesn't have a retribution just yet. 15 seconds away. Information is there. Vival also doesn't have it. There's the kick, though.
Wrath of the Dryad is still ready, though. Now blazing in the back room from Chell. Popping the Purify as well. We're looking at a meltdown from Names in the Inspire. The Muddles was there. Chell is still on a turtle, but it's Velvet who picks it up. Sitting with the Flicker out. Foamy Echo rotating as well. But it is too late, and Egypt have equalized the kill score. Now Chell dove on. The Fracture not there just yet. Fevin trying to sandwich her. Trying to go for the taunt. A few more shots. The Vengeance coming down. The basic attack will deal enough damage for Vivid to get Chell down.
Vivid knew. You know what? Even if no one's going to get you or my phones don't grab you, the Vengeance will. You'll basically take care of yourself. Again, a good response from Egypt, looking for where they can around the map. They make it happen, they make it work, and now they're in control. You know, they flipped the momentum in their favor. They're trying to get this tier 1 down. Vivian might get sandwiched in here. Multiple members there.
All right, not too sure if this is going to be worth it to actually dive the Cho. No waves there. We get a quick look at the items at the 5th minute mark.
All right, Hunter Strike already there for Sunlight. Some of the first items. Oh, Sunlight, she should get away. She's fine. Use that Retribution too. Cindy also taking her own fracture, but yeah, the damage leaderboard is building up, especially for Nucci. She doesn't have, I believe she doesn't have the first item locked in yet. She didn't go right away. She hasn't gotten the Clock of Destiny, I don't think, just yet. So looking at this though, like we saw from the last fight, man, the muddles from names, especially with the Inspire, is pretty devastating to deal with. That ultimate, that Dryad, will not land on anyone from Fiven. So still, they maintain things, they keep it relatively even. There's a spear though.
Onto Fiven, which is an interesting target to go for. I think a lot of times Indonesia, they kind of misplaced all their resources, right? Wade the Dragon in the second turtle fight from Vivian over to Fiven, and now the Spear of Alpha too. They gotta start respecting Fiven, man, right? Like, I know she's a tree, but this is a tanky tree. This is a beefy tree, man. You can't just one-shot the tree.
It's got a vengeance to it, you know? So every single time, like, you try to jump in towards Fiven or anyone, and she can just post up. Like, that's about as tree as you get. And so with this, they continue to go ahead and set things up in the mid lane to get into this next turtle. Last one, third one of the game. Honestly, at this point, it's really both teams just trying to land those ultimates the way they want to. Cine is holding on to the Primal Wrath again. Both gold laners still, but Fumi Echo takes a ton of damage. She still has Revitalize. She's going to go back to base, and the turtle's going to be started up. Vivian also providing some of that vision. The 2 gold laners are basically just going 1v1, by the way, but it looks like Shell was actually pushed off the turret for now. Yep. So Sunlight also still feeling that threat from Cine just around the corner, and it looks like it's going to be a full reset. But that turret's being worked on, man. Down bottom, Names is doing work. She gets that turret. She ultimately wins that 1v1 battle right now, and Shell's forced back to the tier 2.
Vivol's gonna be taunted. It'll be Indonesia with a pretty good ambush attempt here, but ambush taken, but nope. Not gonna be able to get actually a lot of use from that. Rapid Dryad already from Fiven. The Glorious Battle will slow Sunlight down. Spear of Alpha over to her now. Velvet with a flicker and the onward too. Vivian in the midst of it all, doing some damage with the G-Kudo. Knocks Fiven up. City picks up the kill with the Primal Wrath. And Velvet is still in Primal Wrath form. The battle, the basic attack with the onward now from City. Catching it, but gets caught by the Bat Impact. Vivian way to Dragon. The red tree win from Vivol now. Is definitely the Spear of Alpha catching Sunlight. But Nucci is still unhittable. It's Vivol who gets caught in the go-away. Names rotates from all the way in the bottom lane. And it's a triple for Nucci.
A massive pickup again, even with this Blazing Duet, just to go ahead and clear out the waves. Whoa!
Flicker! Nucci picks up the unstoppable Flicker Bat Impact.
Man, I was saying, you know, after she got killed early on in the game, I was like, well, she's not going to have the same flow that she did in game 1, but now she does. She's having a massive game again. She has just been unleashed on this Sicilian time and time again. Now sitting at 5-1-4, Indonesia really trying to hold down to this tier 1 turret, but ultimately I think it's just eventually going to go down. Egypt has found so many wins. I mean, even for Names to just kind of walk into the last team fight and just jump on in and do all that damage that we see this Melissa with the Inspire do time and time again. They're in complete control. Big lead for them, you know, 2,000 gold, but it feels more than just 2,000 gold because of how much damage they can do, how much tankiness they have with Fiven alone when she has the Vengeance. So it might be a little bit more difficult. Fumi Echo, the toss stuff, Glorious Pathway is going to be dropped.
So everything, and the Rapid Dryad too. On top of that, the Primal Wrath. They're just throwing everything in the kitchen sink. 5 ultimates used up earlier. Vivian, they're trying to go for the pickoff, goes for the G-Kudo, fails it, and Names goes and takes her out. Now it's Nucci with the free hit, City with the Primal Wrath, Velvet very low, Vivol in the midst of it all, jump pops in a Blazing Duet, not in range just yet. Fiven will be melted down, Sunlight in the back, goes in for the assassination, and the Lethal Ignition catches her. City still able to get away for now, but it's a 4-for-2 again in favor of Egypt. City is looking for the play. Names stashes away just in time. Sunlight with a chase now onto City. There's no flicker available for City. Once Sunlight gap closes, it's over. It's a killing spree for Sunlight.
I know you see those health bars, City, but she wanted to possibly jump on in, get a possible double, but then ends up getting punished and dying. So now Egypt, even furthering that gold lead they have, really looks like Indonesia's just going for these moments where they're, you know what, let's try to get something set up here, something started from Vivian, but then it all falls apart just because of how much power is coming from this lineup from Egypt. They'll get the Lord, no contest here. Sunlight picking up also a BOD. Now this is very troublesome for Indonesia as they get ready to get on the defense. I mean, even so, you know, this Hylos has not been able to work out too well so far. More so using that Glorious Pathway to sandwich or cut things off. But Egypt has been playing the range game so well, and even Sunlight, you know, she's been able to put pressure on the backside enough to keep Shell from joining these fights sometimes. So at this point, you're trying to think, all right, Indonesia, you're down, you know, 3,000-4,000 gold. This is not a situation they found themselves in at all up to this point.
Never.
Until they faced against Egypt. Sunlight.
Fracture coming down. Sydney was able to pop in the Primal Wrath in time to get the sustain. So a glimmer of hope for Indonesia as they were able to catch one member. A shutdown as well for Vivol. Mid lane cleared out. The Lord's lane cleared out. The Lord still just a first form, not enhanced just yet. So they'll send Chell up top and they should still be able to clear this out. I think that kill has kind of saved them from losing the tier 2s.
Yeah, they might be able to hold on to that as much as they can. The waves are cleared up top. Names is actually going to work on it, though.
Oh, Glorious Pathway now. Vivol goes into the Spear of Alpha. That's going to be his fire used up as well. Vivian with the Wrath of the Dryad catches them, and now Chell goes in the back with a blazing duet. The go-away still able to displace Vivian, but he's still in the midst of it all. Doing damage. Vivol, Spear of Alpha, and the way to Dragon from Vivian will give Vivol a triple. Now it's a 4-for-2 for Indonesia as they look to try to fully turn this game around.
They're going to try to turn it around, and you know, that triple kill for Vivol. Able to maintain that push. They equalize the gold. They march down the mid. They are probably going to get this too. I don't think Sunlight is able to do anything against 3 members plus those couple minions. So tier 2 mid lane goes down. So on both sides, you're looking at some equalization happening here. You know, space around the map, the items that we talked about. And really, when you look at that last team fight, the answer minutes in game number 2 here, Egypt possibly on a way to sweeping Indonesia in this upper final right now. Again, the team that loses this will go down to the lower bracket with Cambodia waiting for them. So we'll see Indonesia if they bring it to a game 3. 30 seconds away from this Lord too. Another item picked up here by Sunlight. She's got the Blade of Hepsies now, so her job might even just be put enough pressure on Shell, do that burst damage if they can, and then it makes you even second guess more, can I Blazing Duet into this lineup?
And it's not just any Cambodia, by the way, that's waiting in the lower brackets. It's a Cambodia that's on a roll. After losing one game, placed in match point, elimination point,
yeah,
they just woke up. I don't know what it was, but Cambodia felt, it just looked super different.
They were on fire
the last
yesterday.
2 games that they were playing against Ukraine. It was just absolute disaster. Like, it was just a catastrophe, I would say. Every single time you would meet them, it's just fights over fights, and
yep,
they're so good at just playing those mechanical team fights.
Yeah, that reverse sweep yesterday too.
Reverse sweep, a lot of different things, you know, that's happened to Cambodia that has really woken them up. So for Egypt and Indonesia, I don't think any of these teams want to meet up against Cambodia in the lower brackets. You have to go all in here. Lane-wise, it's a slow push built up in the bottom lane. Fumi Echo going to be taunted up. A few shots down onto Fumi as well. Vivian gets out with the Shunpu.
Look at the positioning right here too. That's what we got to pay attention to. And I think even Egypt in a way, like this is one of the great things obviously about having a Claude. Like you can do this. Spot Sunlight.
Primal Wrath as well. Sunlight, 1 HP flicker forward from City. Finding the kill on the jungler. The timing could not have been better. Vivian baiting on the Inspire. That's a big resource. Now City trying to run away. He doesn't have the flicker, but it's going to be the flicker over from Velvet. Still missing out. City chased down. The Sanguine Claws connects, but the Lord will be taken by Indonesia.
Great decision making from Cine. I mean, not only to get the right target, but then to just, you know, be a distraction, pull everyone off the possible team fight, and buy that time to allow them to get the Lord here. Great play, great decision making, and yes, it was a sacrifice, but ultimately paid off for what Indonesia wants to happen here. So now they can march in with this Lord, right? They already got that tier 2 earlier on the swing back against the fight that they had. So Egypt, you know, we have to look at this. They've got great clear. This should relatively be an okay Lord to clear out, maintain the base turrets if they can, unless Indonesia just forces a fight and they're able to get a key target down early on. These waves are going to push in. We'll see how Egypt approaches this defense.
Let's see.
Again, clear is going to be pretty good. But whoa, Vivid taking a lot of damage.
Good poke. They're trying definitely to actually bait out the Vengeance there. In the bottom lane, Vivid will be pushing it as well. The Enhanced Lord has already charged in the mid lane. It's already very low. There's still going to be more mini waves to utilize. Now Nucci going to the bottom lane will be able to clear out the waves. And luckily, oh, Shell. Oh, gets a turret. Base turret number 1 taken down in the mid lane. And yeah, for Egypt, they don't really need to be too scared of Lords because they have a Melissa and a Sicilian. When it comes to wave clear, they've got it.
I was going to say, is there anything better than that combo?
That's the combo.
That's the combo to clear waves and defend, pretty much. I mean, Sicilian alone is usually, like, if that hero is on a roster, it's just, you know, especially with all your stacks, you're going to be able to clear things out pretty well and even, you know, manipulate the waves a little bit with the claws. So they maintain the 2 base turrets, and I would say, you know, 16 minutes into the game, that's actually pretty good. It's just now, again, trying to get this space to work with. They know that they're a little bit exposed, they know what happened previously, and so I think something similar might happen here too. A lot of the placements for Indonesia. Again, she's fine, she's got the immortality. Jikundo's out, but I think that's the biggest factor here for Egypt is actually maintaining this space, maintaining a way of to not get bursted down, because all this is part of the plan, right? Indonesia's doing all this before that next Lord comes up. They're trying to put pressure on some of the buffs if they can, but Sunlight ultimately is going to be fine. We'll take a quick look here at the items before the next big fight, and even that immortality is going to be there. Both junglers pretty defensive. I mean, even looking at Vival, right? She's covered her bases for physical defense and magic defense, plus a Winter's Crown. So she has that. So they can actually tank up quite a bit. And you're seeing that chart. That chart is just going to continue to climb too, especially for Nucci here. The further in they get to the game. This might be one of the first games here, Mirko, where we actually see a Sicilian get pretty, I would say almost Final Four, like pretty strong, you know? We haven't had too many games stretch the distance.
Okay. Sunlight this time has the immortality though. But you can see Indonesia are actually already preparing for an ambush in the bottom lane. Chell will be the one sent to clear out this wave. Good usage of the Magic Sentry there to spot out Cine in a possible ambush. Vivian in the mid lane also gets spotted. But Indonesia will just respect this pressure that Egypt can assert back towards them.
I think, you know, in all honesty, with the way the turrets went down, at least it was that mid-turret, a little bit easier to handle that wave pushing into Egypt's base. Again, they just have to be careful because Cine, she's going to try to replicate what she did earlier. But I feel like this time, you know, Sunlight, she's learned, obviously, from that. The Lord is going to go ahead and evolve now. Vivian's, she's actually going to flicker out. Wow. Doesn't want to get caught out. But look at the still positioning happening here. They're going to try to get control of this. Egypt will go ahead and start up the Lord. They'll pull it through. But look at the mid lane. The wave's going to be handled. They might have to respond to this, too. They don't want to just completely ignore that for now. Cine waiting there patiently, clears out the wave. And even on the whim, Shell not too far away. So Lord
Nucci
slowly being worked on. Nucci too. Vivian. Nope.
Blazing away, coming down. Nucci with the flicker out. Now Purify from Shell. They get the kill. With Cine in the back, diving in. Primal Ram within the crown now. As Fumi Echo tries to go for the heal. Vival will be able to melt down as Fumi Echo jumps in again. Name's getting the bundle placement. Cine getting the terrified. Name's stunned and now kicked by Vivian. Vival getting the immortality of Vivian. And it will be the tree falling here. Vival picking up the monster kill. 4 for 2.
4 for 2. Great usage once again.
Did they end?
I don't think they want to push it in just yet. Sunlight's still there. Sunlight's going to clear the wave out. So it looks like Indonesia will manage that one top side that was pushing. They'll start up the Lord. Vival should be fine. She still has Vivian too. Sunlight has to deal with the bottom wave, but man, that was a masterclass in the way that they handled the macro level to it. Remember, Cine was managing that mid wave, gave them time. It almost seemed like too, they were thinking, you know, do we actually just push this one in? Do we go for that backdoor play? But instead, Indonesia makes a decisive choice, and this time around, man, I would say, you know, that's how you want to use the Blaze and do it. Yep. Shell joined in on the fight on the right angle and the right window of opportunity, and they found the perfect target. You take out Nucci, that's a huge damage just gone from Egypt.
That's their main damage dealer gone, in a way, right? I mean, with names 50-50, they kind of need both, though, if they want to survive against this kind of composition. Now Evolve Lord, and they honestly have not managed the waves properly here in Indonesia. Bottom lane's coming in a bit too late. The Glorious Pathway already used up. This will be a Lord that literally isn't going to be an endable angle, I think, right? They're going to be able to pull it out. They will get a few base turrets here just because it's an Evolve Lord and it's still massive.
Still beefy.
But if they only get one base turret, it's definitely not value. A lot of damage from Cine with the Primal Wrath. Wrath to the Giant already used up, finding the taunt onto Chell, but not enough. Nucci, very low. What happened there? Was it just the Cine Primal Wrath?
Yeah, they're so low. Again,
What
they're going to have
happened?
to heal up. At least no one went down, but some resources down here. I'm not sure if Indonesia has an end angle, though.
Inspire already used from names. Valuable information for Indonesia as they pop in the Revitalize to get a bit more HP back. Vivian,
That looks like it.
yeah, will not be able to get an angle to get a pick, but it's only one base turret here, nice. So like I said, with the Evolve Lord, you should definitely try to look for two. Luckily, though, you can see this is unfortunate for Egypt, but far lane base turret was the one that was taken down.
Yep, far lane. So now this is that reset where, you know, usually used to seeing here, Lord's going to be up in a minute and a half, but at this point, you know, for Egypt, like I said, they are going to be able to clear out these waves for the most part. I think even on the next Lord, depending on how they approach that fight, if they don't get forced, you know, to be in a position where their health bars are too low, they got to heal up, or anybody goes down, they can actually still clear things out. And that's why I said Indonesia has to almost become a little creative on their pickoff potential. The fight before this previous one was actually in their favor, but now we're starting to get into territory where it's like, all right, we got these immortalities, we got the winter crowns to worry about, we have to work through that. And that's why mostly you're just going to see this. You're going to see both sides kind of just posting up, waiting for that next objective. And this is always the advantage. When you have those base turrets down, whether it's 1, 2, or all 3, you have that advantage of we can play the macro game. We can put pressure on that far lane. And that's exactly what we're going to see Shell and even Cine do. And that's the biggest question. Can Egypt respond to it? Can they actually adjust this playstyle to the point where they manage that far lane on the top side while also keeping an eye on this Lord? They've done it before, but they'll have to do it again. And Indonesia so far has been putting the pressure constantly up here, preparing for it. Lord's going to be up in a couple seconds. Purple buff for the take two. Vivian will even get a little more defensive for the amount of magic damage that Nucci is popping out with all these bats. I'd love to know the bat counter that she has on these stacks right now, but so far, even with an immortality herself, she's also difficult to kill. We got 3, it looks like, over here for Egypt. Lord is going to be ignored for now while they try to get the right positioning. And even for Velvet, a stalwart here on this Edith pick. Down to the front line. Vivo will start it up. There's an onward. They get the Revitalize out. Revitalize going to be used. Vivian's still on the off angle too. They don't want to get sandwiched into this. But Lord will be started up slowly. Oh,
Velvet will almost lose all of her HP there. Right after Giant used up with the Winter Crown, and now the Immortality buy from Vivo will be able to bait out the Inspire out from names. That's massive, an advantage for Cine. She pops in the Primal Wrath. Now, suddenly walking up, the Winter Dragon will lock her down. Winter Crown and the Immortality buy, and the Flicker out from the Fracture.
Wow.
Pure mechanics from both these teams. Vivian getting the taunt down. Vivian slowly but surely getting basic attack, but still is able to escape with the Shunpu. No one dying in that skirmish.
You see what I'm talking about? This is where you get into the territory of all these immortalities, the Winter Crowns. Vivian, she still has immortality.
The Lord, man, this is the Evolved Lord. When you hold it for a bit, there's
don't wanna
so
tank
much
it.
damage. Vivian almost just got her immortality taken away from the, little electrics.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You know, I know Vivo also saw how low Vivian was, and she's like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I won't.
Not worth it.
Not worth to go ahead and expose that. So ultimately, there was quite a bit used. So even though that no one went down in that fight, there's still some crucial things down, especially when you're talking about some of the flickers, some of those immortalities and winter crowns. You're seeing how much damage the Lord is
That top
doing.
wave is massive, Naisu.
Yep. Again, they're gonna have to send sunlight there to deal with it.
Oh,
They're gonna hold it together. The
Wait.
best thing. Whoa!
The second cross when she landed the glowing one, the take Chella is still able to survive just barely.
How many stacks?
How many stacks? One bat impact with the Sanguine Claws, and it just almost one-shot Chell.
I think it's safe to say, Mirko, this is the final form Sicilian we've been waiting to see all tournament. And Nucci is there. She even still has the immortality. Names will keep it Still pulled here for the Lord. Indonesia, how do they respond?
Uh-oh, Velvet already getting chunked. City, not using the primal back just yet. Will walk up. Vivian goes in early, losing immortality. Vivian very low. Now the kite back from Names. Pops in Inspire. From the Echo will be able to pop in the winner crown. City is waiting for an angle to go in. That's also Vivian walking for the Spirit of Alpha. City gets it and now runs away. It's a shutdown there. Chell goes in for the Blazing Duet. With nature a bit late from Names. Vivian walks up with the Jikundo, and that's the kick over to Vivian. But Names gets all of the space of free hit. City will be caught. Sunlight burning down, but he's still able to survive. It's 3-0, but they get the Evolved Lord.
I can't believe Cine got the Lord. That's a massive Lord to take. Even if it's just Fumi, Echo, and Shell, it might have ultimately just bought them more time in the game. You know, Names is going to hold down the mid lane, and the rest of the team went back to deal with that top push. But man, talk about such close fighting. I mean, when have we seen the gold up to this point so far? And they'll clear this out, they'll deal with it, but you saw how much work it took Indonesia to actually go and make that happen. You know, they really delayed that take for the Lord. Cine somehow ends up getting it. Even when that Spear of Alpha from Vivel, she set things up. But again, Egypt, I'm surprised, man. Like, even for Names, it was almost impossible to get the Names and get that space you're looking for, and Nucci. And so, you know, Shell, you saw the preview of that Blazing Duet used, and how fast Shell had to go back with the BMI. She couldn't stay for long. And if she goes back and happens to catch a bad impact, man, she's going to be gone herself. So Indonesia has so many things to watch out for. The further along this game goes, Egypt will just continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point where then your bad impacts might be even one-shotting, well, maybe not, but like
if it gets to
half-healthing
like,
Vivian.
If it gets to like 80 minutes, maybe, maybe Naisu, but yeah.
When was the last time we had an 80-minute game? I mean,
I don't think we've ever had an 80-minute game.
All right, let's just say we get to the 40-minute mark.
At least in the competitive, you like see it, right? Maybe in ranked games, you see like an 80, maybe 90-minute game. Oh, good poke there.
Shell?
Shell popping the BMI, Sunlight, almost getting the angle to attack again. But at this point, right, Naisu, it's a team fighting advantage for Egypt.
Yeah.
Because of all their damage. But it's the macro advantage still for Indonesia because they have that far lane control.
Turrets.
That was before, though. Now, the Lord is going to be spawning up top, so it's the close lane from Egypt. They can actually constantly just rotate back and forth, and now this puts more pressure on Indonesia because their advantage they had, they utilized so much for that team fight, they don't have it anymore. That far lane will probably be cleared up by Nucci pretty easily.
Yeah, look at this. Again, you know, even with, at this point in the game, Nucci's able to handle most of these waves, and like I said, she still has the immortality, so part of this, too, is for Indonesia, you know, if they're looking for certain targets, you know, who do you get to? Well, Names has that ultimate herself that go away from me that keeps her pretty safe. And I'm almost wondering at this point if Indonesia just wants to go and play that macro level, like put enough pressure.
I think they should.
Maybe just put Shell on that far lane to just focus down the turret, possibly on the game. And Egypt's going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to handle that the best they can. Lord is now up. Again, this is a massive one. There's not been too many games, even in other tournaments, that we've seen get to this point. And so even these junglers, even these tankier heroes are going to deal with a lot of damage from this Lord, starting it up themselves. You can already see the focus from Indonesia on what they want to do and where they want to move around the map. Egypt themselves will go ahead and try to maintain the best they can. Names completely relying, you know, she doesn't have immortality. She believes she still has the Wind of Nature, though. But even then, they can't fully commit to this Lord. As Indonesia just kind of waits. They have to decide, too. Shell's going to put that pressure, though, on this bottom lane.
It's interesting how they don't want to do anything around this bottom lane. Like, the fact that they already have information of everybody's whereabouts, right? Fevin was spotted earlier. The mid lane is clear there. And again, Names is up top, but they don't want to push into bottom lane at all. They don't want to put in or assert more pressure in a position where they should already have a man advantage. Number one, they know that. And honestly, late game, Claude should be able to just outplay the Nolan straight up. Mid lane, Cine go in for the terrifying in way to Dragon. Oh, bit off there from the Echo. To a cheap flicker. Now Chell goes in a Blazing Duet. The immortality is still there for Nucci as he buys into Winter Crown, but it's not in time. You lose out on her life. Viva goes into the Spear of Alpha. City still in the midst of it all, dishing out some damage. Names to go away, already used up. The Inspire no longer in her possession. She buys the Wind of Nature, but it's up against the magic and true damage of Vivel. Indonesia now the BMI. Sunlight's HP disintegrated, and Vivel will claim the kill, the elimination 4-0 trade. Indonesia win out in a fight. 29 minutes in, and it's all just Velvet. It's Velvet left. One member for Egypt that can keep the dream alive. Indonesia will try to equalize with his last push. Velvet with a Primal Wrath kicked away from the base. You shall not hit our minions. 1-1 in the upper bracket finals.
What a game